Backroads is made possible by the Minnesota Arts and Cultural Heritage Fund, with money by the vote of the people, November 4th, 2008.
I've been involved with music my entire life, but I played trumpet in high school, a little bit in college, and then I kind of put music away with the exception of karaoke bars. Had a lot of fun with those. And then it was after my dad died when I was 25. He died by suicide, and I was in a year of very, very bad depression. And after about a year, I decided to buy a guitar, take lessons, and learn how to play. And I've been playing ever since. It's really healing to play. My songwriting process is probably a little bit both preparation and just catching that magic in a bottle, that lightning in a bottle, that happens. So I'm always ready to start writing down some lyrics if they come to me. I think a lot of songwriters use their voice memo on their phone. I'm like that as well, but also having a pad and paper around. I've pulled over on the side of a road to write many a lyric and I've had to take a break from the day job. I'm gonna go take a break real quick because I've thought of some lyrics and I just wanna jot them down.
In the year of 1927, there was little time to get things right. On the edge of town in the middle of summer, little Ida May was a fright. Off to the courthouse on a public complaint. Trembling in fear, she knew her fate. She could lie to the judge, but everyone knew. The bastard's father was Father John LeBoon. They cried, "Could this be Father John led young Ida down to the river to wash away their sins. The baby can come and leave your sister at home. This has nothing to do with her. They cried, "Could this be The court issued judgment for the requisite amount. Bastardy bond, but no bastard was found. Sister Jessie screaming in the woods.
so the group, the Front Porch Sinners, came out of necessity. I had no dreams or ambitions about having a band. I assumed there was a lot of drama with bands, at least that's what society tells us and the media shows us. So I didn't want a band, but I had written enough songs for my first album, and I needed a band to go into the studio. And so I asked a bunch of really great friends if they would help out. And after that experience, I realized this could actually be a lot of fun. When we got together as a group, we needed a name because we were going to be doing the release show, and I wanted to think of something that kind of was a tip of the hat to the Grand Ole Opry days, you know, Johnny Cash and the Tennessee Two, and you know, all of these bands that were the lead person followed by a group name. I grew up in Central Hillside of Duluth, Minnesota, and my brothers and I caused a lot of trouble on the front porch. And I would say some of what we did, maybe some relatives would call it sinning. So I decided to name the group the Front Porch Sinners.
Under the grove of the old oak trees, that's where I'll be. Under the grove of the old oak trees, I'll be with my family. That's where you can be.
Our band has been around for quite a long time. We have a couple of albums out there and EPs, and I'd love for people to know that we are pressing vinyl. My husband owns Round Here Records, Duluth. He's in the band. He and I are both vinyl fans. We grew up on vinyl, and so our last two full albums are pressed on vinyl. The most recent one, Juniper, is on a 3-color heavy splatter pattern, which makes all the hipsters go, ooh, that looks nice. I like that. So I would love for people to get out there and buy the vinyl. Comes with a free digital download. And really explore vinyl if they haven't in a while. I've noticed some people are buying vinyl again, but they don't have their turntable set up. I think they should do that. I don't know that I have a favorite part of this whole music world that I'm involved in, but I'm really passionate about songwriting. I really started to get interested in the singer-songwriter songwriting challenge group on Facebook, and considered myself, after years of being involved in that group, a real songwriter. And it was hard to call myself a songwriter at first, even though I had written songs for over 10 years. I don't know why I wasn't able to assign that title to myself. And now I really own it. I really love writing songs, whether it's for fun or if it's for a singing telegram or if it's for a commercial project. I've worked with ad agencies on songs too.
Nights getting cold and the salt and the snow. Calling out to them, you can't get me.
One of the songs that we're performing today is Central Hillside 91, and this song is all sorts of nostalgia for me. I mentioned we grew up in Central Hillside. In the 90s, we didn't have cell phones, and we got to hang out with our friends with no responsibility. We didn't have jobs. And so a lot of the, from sunup to sundown and even past then, we were just hanging out and having fun. And those are some of the best memories that I have with my brothers. Both of my brothers have passed away young, way too young. And so that song is about the nostalgia of hanging out in Central Hillside. And I found that even if you never grew up in Central Hillside, when people listen to it, they remember when they got to hang out, until the street lights went out.
Central Hillside in our city on now. It will never be the same. That was us, all so young, playing childish games. All that argue lies, call it home, call it love. I call it such a blessing. Ooh, I call it sacrifice. I call it such a blessing. And you
Backroads is made possible by the Minnesota Arts and Cultural Heritage Fund with money by the vote of the people, November 4th, 2008.